Let me ask you something. How many of you wake up every day, go through the same routine, wonder if this is all life has to offer? You work, you eat, you sleep. Then you wake up and do it all over again. It feels normal, doesn't it? But here's the truth, normal isn't working. Normal is a trap. You've been sold the idea that following the system will lead to success. Go to school, get a job, pay your bills, and one day maybe you'll be happy. But look around. Are the people following this path truly fulfilled? Or do they just exist, grinding day after day, waiting for something to change that never will? This isn't life. This is survival on autopilot. And the longer you stay in this cycle, the harder it is to break free. The world wants you to be comfortable. It wants you to settle for good enough. Because the moment you stop questioning, the moment you stop fighting for something better, that's the moment you become another piece of the machine, another name on a payroll, another person who gave up on their dreams. So ask yourself, are you ready to wake up? Are you ready to break free from the illusion that routine equals progress? Because if you don't, nothing changes. And if nothing changes, neither will you. You don't need to be trapped in the cycle forever. But first you have to admit that you're in one. The comfort of routine is a lie. It tells you that if you just keep going, keep working, keep waiting, things will magically improve. They won't. Mediocrity feels safe because it's familiar. But what has it ever given you besides boredom and regret? Think about it. How many times have you told yourself, I'll start tomorrow, I'll take that risk next year, or one day I'll do what I love? How many times have you convinced yourself that staying where you are is better than trying and failing? But let me tell you something, mediocrity is the slowest form of failure. It doesn't hit you all at once. It creeps in. One missed opportunity, one ignored passion, one excuse after another until suddenly years have passed and nothing has changed. The good news, you can break free, but it won't happen by accident. You have to make a choice. Will you continue living the same day over and over again? Or will you wake up and decide that you deserve more? The people who change their lives are the ones who refuse to settle. They choose discomfort over regret. They choose action over waiting. And most importantly, they choose to step out of the safety of mediocrity and into the uncertainty of growth. Will you? What separates the top 1% from the rest? It's not luck. It's not talent. It's not even intelligence, it's mindset. Most people wait for success to come to them. They wait for motivation, for the right time, for someone to give them permission. The 1%, they don't wait. They take action. They know that success isn't a single breakthrough, it's a series of daily choices that most people are too lazy or too scared to make. What if you made just 1% more effort every day? 1 extra hour working on your goals? 1 difficult conversation you've been avoiding? 1 risk that takes you out of your comfort zone? Doesn't seem like much, right? But here's the truth, those small choices add up. Over time, they separate the successful from the average. They separate the people who achieve their dreams from the ones who spend their lives wishing they had. This is the mindset shift that changes everything. Stop focusing on the big leap and start focusing on the small, consistent steps. If you commit to improving just a little each day, you'll be amazed at how far you can go. So I'll ask you again, are you ready to break the mold? Are you ready to stop settling, stop waiting, and start living with purpose? The only thing standing between you and success is the decision to start. Make that decision today. Are you truly free, or are you confined by unseen limits? Look around. From the moment you were born, you've been trained to follow the rules. Stand in line. Speak when spoken to. Don't rock the boat. Society doesn't just expect you to conform, it demands it. And the worst part, you don't even realize it's happening. Conformity is not just about following trends or fitting in. It's deeper than that. It's the quiet voice in your head that stops you from chasing something bigger because it might make others uncomfortable. It's the hesitation before taking a risk, the fear of being different, the belief that blending in is the safest way to survive. But here's the harsh truth, blending in is not survival. It's surrender. Every day you conform to what's expected, you give up a piece of your potential. You become just another face in the crowd, another person following a script written by someone else. And the more you do it, the harder it becomes to break free. Think about how many opportunities have you ignored because they didn't seem practical? How many dreams have you let go of because they didn't fit the mold? You may not see the chains, but they're there, wrapped around your potential, holding you in place. So the real question is, will you keep following the path that was laid out for you, or will you carve your own? Most people don't even realize they're trapped in average thinking. Why? Because it feels safe. It feels familiar. And that's exactly why it's so dangerous. Think of your comfort zone like a small warm room. The walls feel secure, the lighting is just right, and nothing ever challenges you. But here's the thing, outside that room, there's an entire world of possibilities. Yet, you never step out. Why? Because the unknown feels risky. Because that small, warm room, even if it's limiting, still feels better than uncertainty. But let me tell you something, comfort zones are not safe. They are silent prisons. They don't protect you. They limit you. The longer you stay inside, the lonelier your world becomes. Look at anyone who has ever achieved anything great. Did they play it safe? Did they cling to the familiar? No, they stepped into discomfort. They took risks. They understood that nothing extraordinary happens inside the boundaries of what's normal. Ask yourself, are you living or are you just maintaining? Are you growing? Are you just getting by? Because every time you choose comfort over challenge, you choose stagnation over progress. And in a world that never stops moving, standing still is just another way of falling behind. So I'll ask you again, what's more terrifying, the fear of stepping out or the regret of never knowing what was beyond that door? Every day you wake up, go through the same motions and tell yourself it's just another day. But is it? Or is it another missed opportunity? Another chance wasted? Another step deeper into routine that's quietly killing your potential? Here's the truth, routine can be useful, but it can also be a trap. It tricks you into believing that as long as you're doing something, you're making progress. But ask yourself, are you really moving forward or are you just running in place? Think about the people who stay in jobs they hate for years, convincing themselves it's just temporary. Think about the dreams abandoned because they seem too unrealistic. Think about the moments when you wanted to try something new but chose the familiar instead. That's the cost of settling. That's the price of comfort. And here's what makes it worse. People don't even realize they're stuck until it's too late. They wake up one day, look back and wonder where the time went. And the scariest part, there's no getting it back. Every day spent in routine is a day lost to potential. Every decision to stay where you are is a decision to delay the life you actually want. The question is, how long are you willing to wait? How much time are you willing to waste? Because eventually you'll run out of it. If you want to change your life, start by changing your decisions. Because here's the truth, your life right now is the result of every choice you've made up to this point. Every time you settle for good enough. Every time you waited instead of acted. Every time you told yourself maybe later. Think back, how many opportunities have you let slip by? How many times have you convinced yourself that staying where you are was the safest option? But was it really, or was it just the easiest? The good news is it's not too late. But you have to wake up. You have to see average thinking for what it is, a slow poison that drains your ambition, your confidence, and your future. So ask yourself, what's one thing you can do today to break free? What's one action you can take that pushes you out of comfort and into growth? It doesn't have to be massive, it just has to be a start. Because if you don't decide to change now, when will you? What if success wasn't about money, titles, or social approval? What if success was defined by your own standards on your own terms? For years you've been told what success looks like. A stable job, a decent paycheck, a comfortable life. But let me ask you, who decided that? Who said things? As long as success means playing by someone else's rules, is it really success at all? The top 1% don't follow the script. They don't chase validation. They don't measure success by the standards society pushes on them. Instead, they create their own. They redefine what winning means based on their passions, their potential, and their personal vision. Think about the innovators, the game changers, the people who left a mark on this world. Did they settle for what was expected? No, they refused to be average. They rejected the idea that success is just a box to check. So let me ask you, are you chasing someone else's version of success, or are you ready to define your own? Because real success isn't about fitting in, it's about breaking free. It's about setting goals so big they scare you, pushing limits so far they redefine what's possible. That's the mindset of the 1%. And the moment you stop thinking like everyone else is the moment you start rising above them. The difference between the top 1% and everyone else is not luck. It's not connections. It's mindset. Winners don't wait. They don't hesitate. They don't make excuses. They wake up every day with one goal, progress. They don't ask, can I do this? How can they survive? And here's what separates them from the rest. They refuse to think small. They refuse to let fear dictate their choices. When others see problems, they see possibilities. When others stop at obstacles, they find a way through. Let me tell you something, your thoughts shape your reality. If you think like the average, you will live like the average. If you doubt yourself, hesitate, or wait for the right time, you will stay stuck where you are. But if you adopt the mindset of winners, everything changes. Start now, stop overthinking. Stop making excuses, stop waiting for permission. Winners take action long before they feel ready. They bet on themselves before anyone else does. They understand that hesitation is just fear in disguise, and fear has no place in the mind of someone who refuses to be average. So I'll ask you again, what's stopping you? The answer is circumstances. It's not your past. It's not lack of opportunity. The only thing stopping you is the way you think. And the moment you change that, you change everything. Most people walk past opportunities every single day and never see them. Not because they don't exist, but because they're not looking for them. The average mind sees what it expects to see. It focuses on limitations, problems, and barriers of 1%. They see possibilities. They train themselves to look beyond the obvious. They understand that every problem contains an opportunity, and every challenge holds the potential for a breakthrough. Think about this, how many things exist today because someone dared to see beyond what was in front of them. The biggest companies, the greatest inventions, the most impactful ideas, they didn't come from people who accepted things as they were. They came from people who asked, what's missing? What could be done differently? What opportunities exist here that others are too blind to see? So let me ask you, are you looking at the world with fresh eyes? Or are you walking through life seeing only what you've been conditioned to see? Opportunity is everywhere. It's in the problems people complain about. It's in the gaps that no one else is willing to fill. It's in the ideas that seem crazy at first, but change everything in the end. Train yourself to look beyond the obvious, to question assumptions, to challenge limitations, because the moment you start seeing the world differently, the world opens up in ways you never imagined. All of this mindset, vision, opportunity means nothing if you don't act on it. You can redefine success. You can train yourself to think like the top 1%. You can see opportunities everywhere. But if you don't move, if you don't take action, then nothing changes. How many times have you had an idea but talked yourself out of it? How many times have you wanted to take a risk but let fear hold you back? The truth is, the difference between those who succeed and those who don't isn't just thinking differently, it's acting differently. So what bold step will you take today? Not tomorrow, not someday. Today, because the top 1% don't just believe they do. They take massive, decisive action long before they feel ready. They don't wait for guarantees. They don't wait for permission. They move forward, make mistakes, and adjust along the way. That's the difference, that's the key. And if you want to break free from average, it's the only way forward. The choice is yours. But make no mistake, your future isn't waiting. It's being built by the actions you take right now. Are you chasing shadows instead of substance? Think about it. Most people spend their entire lives running after money, believing that the more they collect, the more successful they'll be. But here's the reality, money is not the goal. It's the byproduct. The problem with chasing money is that it's never enough. You get a little, you want more. You reach one milestone and suddenly it's not satisfying anymore. This cycle of chasing numbers never ends because money on its own has no real meaning. It's just a tool, not the destination. Now contrast that with those who focus on creating value. The people who truly succeed, the innovators, the game changers, the top 1% don't obsess over dollars. They obsess over impact. They build businesses that solve real problems. They create products and services that make life better for others. And as a result, wealth follows them. The moment you shift from chasing money to building something valuable, everything changes. Money stops being a source of stress and starts flowing naturally. Why? Because people don't pay for money, they pay for solutions. They invest in things that improve their lives. So ask yourself, are you chasing temporary gains, or are you building something that will last? Because the ones who build, the ones who create real value, never have to chase money. Money chases them. What if I told you that money isn't the real currency of success? That dollars and cents are just a reflection of something far more powerful, value. Value is what people seek. It's what drives every decision, every purchase, every opportunity. When someone hands over their money, they're not just buying a product or a service. They're buying a solution and experience a transformation. And those who understand this principle never struggle financially. Look at the most successful people in any industry. What do they all have in common? They don't just take, they give. They provide something the world needs. They solve problems others overlook. They create experiences that leave lasting impressions. But here's where most people get it wrong. They focus on what they can get instead of what they can give. They ask, can I make more money, instead of how can I provide more value? And that's why they stay stuck. If you want to build real success, stop thinking about transactions and start thinking about impact. Ask yourself, what do people need that they don't even realize yet? How can you serve in a way that no one else is? Because the moment you figure that out, you'll never have to worry about money again. When you focus on delivering real value, wealth isn't something you chase, it's something you attract. Have you ever noticed that the wealthiest people rarely talk about money? That's because they understand something most don't. Wealth follows value, not the other way around. Think of value as a magnet. The more you build it, the stronger the pull. The people who make the most money are the ones who provide the most value, whether it's through knowledge, innovation, or service. They don't beg for opportunities. They don't desperately try to sell themselves. They focus on building something so valuable that people can't ignore it. Look at the greatest brands, the most successful entrepreneurs, the top performers in any field. They don't just exist, they dominate. Not because they were lucky, not because they had the perfect circumstances, but because they poured everything into creating something worthwhile. And when you do that, money becomes a side effect of your impact. So let me ask you, are you putting in the work to build something meaningful? Or are you still chasing quick wins, hoping for an easy way to wealth? Because real success doesn't come from shortcuts. It comes from substance. It comes from building something that speaks for itself, something that keeps growing long after you stop trying to sell it. Isn't it time to let your true worth shine? Stop chasing money and start creating something that makes a difference. The money will come. It always does. Now that you understand the power value, it's time to put it into action. Because knowledge without execution is useless. Here's where you start. Find a problem worth solving. Look at the world around you. What's missing? What frustrates people? The greatest businesses and ideas come from solving real problems. Master your craft. Whatever you do, become the best at it. Study, practice, and refine your skills until you offer something no one else can. Focus on service, not sales. The best way to make money isn't to sell, it's to serve. Give more than you take, and people will naturally gravitate toward what you offer. Create something that lasts. Don't aim for quick profits. Build a reputation. A brand that continues to grow either not working. Take action. Stop planning and start executing. Every moment you hesitate is a moment wasted. Success isn't complicated, it's just rare. Most people never take these steps because they're too busy looking for shortcuts. But the ones who do, they never struggle again. So start building your legacy today. The world doesn't need more people chasing money. It needs more people creating value. Will you be one of them? Most people think freedom is about doing whatever they want, whenever they want. But here's the truth, real freedom comes from discipline. Think about it. The people who lack discipline are the ones trapped in their own bad habits. They wake up late, waste time, make excuses, and then wonder why their life isn't moving forward. They aren't free, they're slaves to impulse, distraction, and regret. Now look at the most successful people in the world. Athletes. Entrepreneurs, what do they all have in common? Discipline, they wake up early. They stick to their commitments. They do what needs to be done, even when they don't feel like it. And because of that, they get to live life on their own terms. Discipline isn't about restriction, it's about power. The power to control your time, your habits, and ultimately your future. Without it, your potential remains just that potential. So ask yourself, how will you unlock your true potential without discipline? How will you build the life you want if you can't even control your daily actions? The world rewards those who are consistent, who show up, who put in the work whether they feel like it or not. The question is, are you willing to do what it takes? Or will you keep waiting for motivation to save you? Because here's the reality, motivation fades, discipline lasts. And the moment you master it, you unlock a level of freedom most people will never experience. Success isn't built in a day, it's built in the small daily choices you make. Every habit, every routine, every action compounds over time. And the ones who win, they're the ones who understand this. Think of your habits as bricks. Every time you wake up early, push through discomfort and stay committed to your goals, you lay another brick. It may not seem like much at first, but brick by brick, you're building something unstoppable. But here's the problem, most people never lay enough bricks. They start strong, then get distracted. They put in work for a week, then quit when they don't see results. And then they wonder why nothing in their life changes. Discipline isn't about going hard for a few days, it's about showing up every single day, even when it's boring. Even when it's exhausting, even when it feels pointless. Because those small, seemingly insignificant actions, they are the foundation of everything great. Ask yourself, what are your habits building? Are they setting you up for success or are they keeping you stuck? Because whether you realize it or not, your daily routines are shaping your future. Every successful person started with small, consistent actions. The only difference between them and the average, they didn't stop. So the question is, will you? Let's be honest, discipline is hard. If it were easy, everyone would be successful. But here's the thing, most people don't fail because they lack talent or intelligence. They fail because they give in to distractions, procrastination, laziness, temptations. These are the enemies of success. And they're everywhere. The temptation to scroll on your phone instead of working. The temptation to take shortcuts instead of putting in real effort. The temptation to say, I'll do it tomorrow. But let me tell you something, tomorrow is a lie. Tomorrow is the excuse that keeps you stuck. Tomorrow is what average people tell themselves while the disciplined ones are out there building their future. You have to fight back. When the urge to procrastinate hits, remind yourself why you started. When distractions try to pull you off course, refocus. And when you feel like giving up, push harder. Because every time you choose discipline over comfort, you strengthen your ability to win. So ask yourself, what's holding you back from greatness? Is it your habits, your mindset? Your excuses, whatever it is, you have two choices: keep letting it control you or take control of it. Because at the end of the day, success isn't about luck, it's about discipline. And the only way to get what you want is to stop making excuses and start making moves. Discipline isn't just about effort, it's about structure. If you want to succeed, you need a routine that eliminates excuses and forces you to stay on track. Look at the top performers in any field. They don't rely on willpower. They don't wait until they feel like it. They set up systems that make success inevitable. They wake up at the same time. They follow strict schedules. They train their minds and bodies to perform whether they're motivated or not. Because here's the truth, discipline isn't about occasional effort, it's about turning effort into a way of life. So what's your routine? Do you have one, or are you just hoping things will fall into place? Because if you don't control your time, your distractions will you let discipline shape your destiny? Or will you keep waiting for the perfect moment that never comes? Success is simple, but it's not easy. It's built through daily routines, relentless commitment, or refusal to quit. So decide today, will you let discipline lead you to success, or will you keep letting distractions steal your future? Most people think they're playing it safe. They stick to what they know, follow the same routines, and avoid anything that feels uncertain. But here's the truth, what you call safety is actually the biggest risk of all. Think about it. What happens when you stay in the same place doing the same things year after year? Nothing. No growth. No breakthroughs, just more of the same. And yet people convince themselves that staying in their comfort zone protects them. But protect them from what? From progress, from reaching their full potential? Could trap. It lulls you into believing that avoiding risk is the smart move, when in reality, it's the surest way to a life of mediocrity. Because while you sit still, the world moves forward. The people who take risks, the ones who embrace discomfort, they're the ones achieving what others only dream of. So ask yourself, is comfort really worth the price of mediocrity? Are you willing to trade your future for the illusion of security? Because if you're not growing, you're shrinking. If you're not taking risks, you're choosing to stay stuck. The biggest regret people have isn't failing, it's never trying. And the scariest part, you won't realize what you've missed out on until it's too late. Risk doesn't mean reckless. It doesn't mean jumping blindly into the unknown. It means taking smart, calculated steps towards something greater. The most successful people aren't fearless. They feel doubt, uncertainty, and hesitation just like everyone else. The difference, they move forward anyway. They understand that growth is uncomfortable, that progress comes with uncertainty, and that nothing worth having is ever guaranteed. Look at any major breakthrough, any life-changing decision. It came from someone willing to take a chance. The entrepreneur who left a stable job to build something of their own. The athlete who trained harder when no one was watching. The artist who put their work out into the world despite fear of rejection. What's the cost of not taking a risk? Stagnation, regret. The slow realization that you let fear keep you small. So what's stopping you? Fear of failure? Fear of what others will think? Fear that you might make a mistake? Let me tell you something, mistakes can be fixed. Failure can be learned from. But a life spent avoiding risk, that's a mistake you can't undo. The best way to take a risk, prepare for it. Plan, then move. Don't wait for the perfect moment, it doesn't exist. The only difference between those who succeed and those who's a decision to take action. Are you ready to make yours? What if failure wasn't the enemy? What if it was the key to everything you've ever wanted? Most people are terrified of failing. They think it means they're not good enough, not capable, not worthy of success. But here's the truth, failure isn't a stop sign. It's a stepping stone. Every great success story started with failure. Look at the biggest names in history, entrepreneurs, athletes, artists, inventors. They all failed repeatedly, publicly, spectacularly. And yet they kept going. Why? Because they understood something most people don't. Failure as feedback. When you fail, you learn, you adjust, you get better. Every setback teaches you something you didn't know before, but only if you keep moving. The only real failure is quitting. Only real loss is never trying. So how will you turn your failures into fuel for success? Will you let them define you, or will you use them to refine you? Think about it. Every lesson, every skill, every bit of strength you've built has come from facing challenges, not avoiding them. So why fear failure? Why not embrace it? Because the truth is, the people who make it to the top aren't the ones who never failed. They're the ones who refuse to stay down. At the end of your life, what will you regret more, the risks you took or the ones you didn't? The truth is, the biggest enemy of success isn't failure. It's inaction. It's hesitation. It's the endless cycle of maybe later, and what if that keeps people trapped in the same place for years? You have a choice: stay where you are or take bold action. There is no in between. Playing it safe won't get you closer to your dreams. Waiting for the perfect moment won't bring success any faster. The people who win in life, they don't wait, they decide. They take risks. They bet on themselves even when the outcome is uncertain. Because they know that action, even imperfect action, is always better than standing still. So will you act now or live with regret later? Will you take control of your future or let fear control you? Because the truth is, you're either moving forward or you're falling behind. And the only way to make sure you don't get left behind is to take action today. Look at the 5 people you spend the most time with. Now ask yourself, are they pushing you forward or are they holding you back? Your inner circle is not just a part of your life, it shapes your life. The people you surround yourself with influence how you think, how you act, and ultimately how far you go. If you're constantly around people who complain, make excuses, or settle for mediocrity, guess what? That mindset will start creeping into your own life. But on the other hand, if you surround yourself with ambitious, driven, and growth-focused individuals, your standards will rise. You'll think bigger, you'll push harder. You'll start to believe in possibilities that once seemed out of reach. Success is contagious, but so is failure. That's why your environment matters. That's why your circle matters. Because whether you realize it or not, you are absorbing the energy, habits, and mindset of the people around you. So ask yourself, are you surrounding yourself with people who elevate you? Or are you stuck in a circle that's keeping you stagnant? Because the truth is, you either grow together or you stay stuck together. It's time to take a hard look at your inner circle. Because in the end, your success will be a reflection of the company you keep. Success is rarely a solo journey. The most accomplished people in the world didn't get there alone. They had mentors, allies, and the like-minded individuals who helped them grow. Who are you learning from? Who are you building with? Because if you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room. You need people around you who challenge you, who push you, who force you to level up. Mentors are game changers. They've walked the path ahead of you. They know the shortcuts, the pitfalls, the lessons that can save you years of struggle. Learning from someone who has already succeeded can accelerate your growth in ways you never imagined. And then there are your allies, the people who are on the journey with you. The ones who share your vision, your hunger, your drive. These are the people who will celebrate your wins, call you out when you're slacking, and remind you why you started in the first place. So here's the reality: you can't afford to surround yourself with people who don't inspire greatness. You need to be intentional. You need to seek out mentors who have done what you want to do. You need to build relationships with people who challenge you to think bigger and work harder. Because success isn't just about what you know, it's about who you know and who you choose to grow with. Not everyone in your life is meant to send me to or part of your past, but they have no place in your future. The hard truth is, some of the people closest to you might be the ones holding you back. The ones who doubt you, discourage you, or drain your energy. The ones who live in fear, make excuses, and want you to stay small because your growth threatens their comfort. You need to recognize these people. You need to ask yourself who in your life is dragging you down. Who is feeding your doubts instead of your ambition? Because here's the thing: you don't owe anyone your potential. You don't owe anyone your dreams. If someone isn't helping you grow, they are keeping you stagnant. And you cannot afford to stay in a place that no longer serves your future. Cutting people off isn't about cruelty, it's about survival. It's about protecting your mindset, your energy, and your future. If someone consistently brings negativity into your life, it's time to create distance. You cannot let the fear of hurting feelings keep you stuck in a toxic environment. Your future is too important to be weighed down by people who don't believe in it. Choose your circle wisely, because in the end, The wrong people will cost you more than you can afford. The right relationships don't just add value to your life, they multiply it. Think about it. One strong connection can open doors that would have taken you years to reach on your own. One mentor can provide insights that shift your entire trajectory. One supportive friend can push you through moments of doubt and keep you moving forward. Your network is a force multiplier. The stronger it is, the faster you grow. The more intentional you're about surrounding yourself with driven, ambitious, and forward-thinking individuals, the more opportunities will come your way. So how will you use your network to amplify your success? Will you seek out the people who will elevate you, or will you settle for relationships that keep you comfortable? Because the truth is, your potential isn't just shaped by your skills or your effort, it's shaped by the people you choose to build with. Success is never a solo mission. Find the right people. Invest in the right relationships. And watch how quickly your world transforms. Look back at how far you've come from confronting the harsh truths about the trap of average, thinking to embrace it. Mama said this learning has been about one thing: transformation. Each step we've taken has been a step toward the realization that everything you need to achieve your goals is already inside you. The tools for success aren't hidden in some secret formula. They're in the choices you make, the people you surround yourself with, and the actions you take every single day. You've learned that success isn't handed to you. It's earned. It comes from breaking free from the illusion of comfort and the false security of safety. It's built through discipline, through the consistency of small daily actions, and by taking risks that push you out of your comfort zone. But none of this matters if you don't believe that you have the power to change. You are the difference. You are the one who can transform your life by changing the way you think, the way you act, and the way you surround yourself. Now is the time to take what you've learned and put it into action. The future you desire is already in your hands, but it's up to you to grab it. Now that you've seen the path forward, it's time to take responsibility. No one can do this for you. No one can change your life except you. Personal accountability is the catalyst that turns potential into progress. It's the bridge between dreams and realities, the decision to stop blaming circumstance, stop making excuses, and start owning your future. Look at your life right now. Everything in it is a reflection of the choices you've made up until this moment. If you want to see change, you need to stop waiting for the world to change for you. You have to be the change. Will you take full responsibility for your actions? Will you own the results, whether good or bad, and learn from them? Success is not about avoiding mistakes, it's about owning them, learning from them, and moving forward stronger. When you take accountability, you unlock the power to truly transform. You realize that you are the one who controls your destiny. It's not about waiting for the right moment, it's about creating the right moment by taking ownership of your decisions. Now's the time to embrace your responsibility and take charge of your future. This is at the moment you've been waiting for. The moment to rewrite your future. No more waiting. No more excuses. It's time to act. Everything we've discussed has led to this point. You've learned the importance of power of a growth-oriented circle, the value of calculated risks, and the necessity of personal accountability. Now, you must turn these lessons into action. Start now. Don't wait for the perfect time. Don't wait for motivation to show up. It's not about waiting, it's about doing a very small action. Every choice you make from this point forward is a step toward the life you've always wanted. The future is yours to shape. You're the difference. And the best part, you have everything you need to make it happen. So ask yourself, are you ready to be the difference? Are you ready to rewrite your story, to take full control, and to live the life you deserve? Because the only thing standing between you and the life you want is your decision to act. The time for change is now. Go make it happen.